Section 3 of the Vape 2 lesson. A hit to the heart. A recent study on e-cigarettes found that using them raises someone's risk of developing a long-term disease. This means someone using e-cigs for a few years could develop bronchitis, which is the inflammation and irritation of the major airways in your body. These airways are responsible for exchanging air in and out of our lungs. Next, it's possible to suffer from emphysema, which can also be developed over time from using e-cigs. Emphysema is the destruction of the air sacs in the lungs, which is a common disease that long-term cigarette smokers develop. Alveoli, the air sacs in your lungs, are the place in the body where fresh oxygen is delivered and carbon dioxide is removed. Other lung diseases linked to e-cigarette use include asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Those who use both e-cigs and cigarettes are even at a higher risk of developing a lung disease and or heart disease compared to someone only using e-cigs or cigarettes. Damaging this lung tissue could lead to a chain of reactions of other health complications. Less oxygen will be sent to the brain, which means less oxygen in the organs and tissues of the body. Other studies confirm that e-cigarette use weakens the lung's immune response to infection, making it harder for lungs to fight off harmful viruses and bacteria. The evidence that e-cigarettes include products like Juul increase our cardiovascular or heart risk illnesses, and they're piling up. The heart is the center that pumps the blood throughout the complex of networks of blood vessels in the body. These blood vessels are responsible for delivering fresh oxygen to organs and tissues. Your cells need oxygen to survive and work properly. Scientists have discovered that e-cigarette aerosol from using or breathing in secondhand aerosol can link and impair the function of blood vessels by making them stiff. This stiffness can decrease blood flow through the body and lead to blood clots. Your risk of a heart attack is determined by many factors such as your genetics, environment, and lifestyle. Factors that play a role in your risk for heart attack include family history, race, where you live, what kind of air you breathe in, what you eat, how much you exercise, and overall lifestyle. Choosing not to use tobacco or nicotine reduces your overall risk for heart attack or heart disease. Let's imagine the chance of having a heart attack is represented by dice, and a higher total rolled represents a higher chance of developing heart disease. Someone who does not use e-cigarettes or cigarettes is rolling only one dice. Now imagine the person using e-cigarettes every day. Their chances of having a heart attack would now double. This is a fairly similar amount of damage to the heart as someone who is smoking cigarettes every day. This is one reason e-cigs are not considered safer than cigarettes. They both release ultrafine particles and toxins that damage blood vessels, encourage blood clotting, and can lead to heart attacks. Let's complicate this story further by assuming that this person starts using cigarettes too. Whether they don't have access to their vape. Now they're using both e-cigs and cigarettes. This would increase their risk for heart attack by 5-fold. In other words, they are now gambling with 5 dice. On the bright side, this works the other way too. The risk of having a heart attack can drop immediately after quitting cigarettes. It could also drop down after quitting e-cigs. Someone could take action right away to protect their health by stopping e-cigs or cigarette use. Good news, risk goes down immediately after you stop smoking or using e-cigs. Critical to review teacher talking points before presenting the next slides to young people. We recommend using the teacher talking points since we don't want to make better consumers out of these products. When you're ready to present, please delete this slide. I just left it in there because I want you to know that I am using the teacher talking points for each slide so that I can ensure and our department can ensure that you are getting the correct information based on the studies done by Stanford University. So what does the industry know? There are many reasons why young people start using these devices, such as flavorings, changing social norms, life stressors, perceived reduced risk, marketing, and lack of addiction education. The industry is smart in their approach and focuses on these 3 points to push their agenda and attract young consumers. The industry uses flavoring, an attempted change at social norms, and marketing to push their agenda in order to attract young consumers. So why flavors? Earlier we discussed how pod-based companies have fruity and sweet flavor pods along with colors. Why would there be over 15,500 e-juice flavor options such as banana butt and honey doo-doo? Seriously? Barney Pebbles? Honey doo-doo? Banana butt? Booger sugar. Oh wait, that's not on the teacher points. Back to the script, Pilac. It's important to be aware that this is another example of the pod-based companies following well-known advertising strategies from the Big Tobacco Playbook. Side note, the tobacco industry lesson that you participated in showed you that there was attempts to stop this marketing targeting young people. That was one of the points emphasized in the trend for smoking rates to decline in the mid to 1960s. But somehow they have got by this, and you are their next consumers. They know that flavors are a great way to attract young customers because they are the group most interested in sweet flavors and bright colors. This tactic is so effective that flavored cigarettes have been banned since 2009, since extensive research shows they are more appealing to young people. The pod-based companies, along with other e-cigs, have yet to be regulated in this way. So again, if you think back to the regulation that was government imposed, the pod-based industry does not have to follow the same FDA regulations. Therefore, they created a new product to sell their product. More and more evidence is piling up, proving that these flavors are dangerous in and of themselves. So far, we know flavorings can impair lung function and increase the risk for heart disease, but pod-based companies continue to use them because they know it makes their products seem appealing and safe to teens. Social media allows for the industry to have widespread advertising at almost no cost. By sharing these cartoons and memes, young people have essentially done the advertising for them. Many companies, like Juul, do not need to post new content. They have planted their seeds in social media so that their consumers now do their work. Who's the target audience? We'll wrap up by reviewing some of the different ways pod-based device companies, especially Juul, have shown themselves to be big tobacco reinvented. Think about what big tobacco tactics pod-based companies have used. Young social media influencers and other third-party influencers were paid to make this look cool. They liked my edgy style, and I appealed to the younger market. Problematic memes and cartoons are also distributed via Twitter or Instagram, which give youth the impression that using is okay. Happy Valentine's Day. I'd rather lose my jewel than lose you. So, to continue the wrap up, they formulate their products to deliver as much nicotine as smoothly as possible to their consumers. They introduce flavored products that are known to be attractive and harmful to teens. And they use marketing strategies that are known to attract teens and young people. There are numerous other big tobacco companies that these companies have used that we don't have really time to cover today. Bet you're relieved. If you still not convinced that pod-based companies are simply reinventing big tobacco's addictive recipe, we can't really blame you, since these companies go through a lot of effort to make it seem like their motives are okay and honest. The makers of Marlboro cigarettes have invested $12.8 billion in Juul Labs. They claim that e-cigs are designed for current smokers who want to quit or reduce the use of tobacco. But a recent study out of Dartmouth School of Medicine revealed that for every adult who uses vaping to quit smoking, 80 young people will initiate a e-cig product, such as Juul. Here's one more fact you should know. On March 2019, Altria, the leading U.S. cigarette manufacturer, purchased a 35% stake in Juul for $12.8 billion. It is the parent company of Philip Morris, the makers of Marlboro cigarettes. Now, there's no doubt that the big tobacco company is transitioning into the big vape company and stands to make billions or more in profit from addicting customers such as you. So we're not going to Kahoot, we're going to Google Form, and I promise you don't need to upload an audio and you don't need to upload a picture, but it is important that you do your best, and thanks for hanging in there with us. And an interesting fact, most people have to try to quit smoking more than once. They're more likely to try up to 7 times. They're also more likely to be successful if they have somebody that they know is asking them to quit. Additional fact, express your concern for people. Tell them you care. Tell them you love them anyway, but you preferred they wouldn't smoke. They have a tendency to respond better when they know you're asking out of care and concern for them, but nagging someone to quit won't work. Every couple months, just remind them you love them, you care about them, and you're there for them if they choose to quit. If you've never started, please don't. We had a speaker once. She said, "When I was asked, 'Do you mind if I smoke?' my answer was no, but I do mind if you die." So, there's so many things we can avoid. Be safe, be strong, say no, provide a reason. The reason is I'm not going to be a victim of a tobacco marketing scheme. I'm not going to increase my risks for heart disease or heart attack. I don't want the waste ending up in the garbage dump and becoming an environmental hazard. There are so many reasons to say no. Find one that works for you.